What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe, you got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good, you?
Man, matching on-brand colors today. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification. You know, whenever we post some VV content for your face. We're on a VV heater. We've been going VV. It's almost like the good old days back in the day with VV content. We're going to be putting out some more Pokemon content, hashtag soon. But right now, too much to talk about, too many ideas flowing since we've had that AMA with Mr. Ben Rose. Shout out to him for coming on the channel recently. You can also become a Superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button, get one of these stars next to him, level up through the stars, enter into giveaways every single month. We owe 2 months of giveaways. We are slacking. We were planning for the greatest AMA of all time. You guys got to understand the giveaways are coming. It's going to be on Twitter. We'll definitely let you know when that happens. Follow us on X, Twitter, follow us on Instagram, join the Discord. Discord is the hub of Web3, the hub of digital collecting. All projects digital are in there. We have a Pokemon TCG chat. We have a VV chat, Cryptoids chat, Flick Play chat, all of the chats. We had a Quid chat. Do I delete the Quid chat? I don't know. Do we leave it in there for the memes? You guys let us know. But guys, join the Discord. Lots of fun over there.
Discord's a great place. You get full access to us at all times there. You know, you can come in, ask us questions. I love it when I get an ad. I like it when I look at my phone, I see somebody's added at us. We can respond. We can have that discussion. So join the Discord in the description below and reach out to us anytime. Just let us know that you're there. And the rest of Superstar Nation's there. They're going back and forth all day long. Superstar Nation is always chatting. So
VV fans been very active in there recently and been on Pinnacle VV chats. I mean, that's what we love. We love seeing the interaction between the chats and people bringing ideas from project to project. A lot of fun. Yeah. Okay, so I want to bring up some news. I know we're going back to I feel like 2022 right now, but anyway, here is the news that we want to bring up. And there was this comment from Vivi. I mean, a lot of traction on this comment on this post. It was a response to a post by Sergio Collects. Unfortunately, we cannot respond to Sergio as we are blocked by him. Not sure what that's about, but anyways,
well, actually, I think I remember. I think we did a video on Sergio because he did a poll on us. And he asked if we were fair to Vivi, kind of trying to take us out, you know, trying to make us look bad, make us seem like we're biased. And he lost the poll, and the people actually voted. We're so balanced that it was actually equal for a bit, and then we actually ended up, I think, winning it 70-30. Then he claimed that we bought it, which we did no such thing. And I think we did a video just showing people claiming that he's a pumper dumper. So, anyways, that was the whole situation. I think he blocked us after that moment, but it'd be nice because we still see him messaging about, like, he talks about us in his tweets sometimes.
Yeah.
He blocks us, you know, we can respond.
I saw some posts yesterday. I mean, we saw VV Values put out a nice tweet about us using some appropriate language and all that good stuff that, you know, the gatekeepers like to use over there. But anyways, I digress. Let's continue here because Sergio is saying how VV does not need any more utility. They have enough utility. And VV comes in and says, actually, we need more utility and we're going to be bringing it hashtag soon. So, I mean, VV is getting the message. Sergio, you need to get the message too. But let's continue because we have some great ideas here. I think let's read the comment, but we're committed to adding even more utility and long-term value to our existing collectibles. Utility will be dependent on our agreement with the licensor. Plans are underway to bring new engagement to older collectibles. Be sure to keep an eye out for our official channels for updates. Now, I want to bring up that we did ask Ben this question in our interview, and the answer was a little bit slightly different from what we're seeing here. So does that mean that from the interview, Vivi took in feedback from the community and potentially are making changes to maybe satisfy some users who are asking for these things? Because from this post, that's what it looks like.
I think this is the importance of asking the question, right? This is why we want to have the AMA. We want to get this new kind of direction now. We have the question right here for the future, how we knew from the recent review, what we see is what we get. That's what he told us. Has there been a change in plans to build more utility for previous collectibles? All we do is we want to ask the questions. Now, at the time, we got a response which was similar to Reese, which is like, no, this is what it is. You're here to collect, and that's it. Now, was that a miss? You know, did he misspeak? Did Ben misspeak by saying no? Or did they then sit in the boardroom and be like, no, we can't have this as a no. We got to tell them, you know, for all we know, they had plans to do this, but they didn't want to share it with the community because then there's blowback on timelines. So I'm sure Vivi, because they've been talking for a long time about how they plan to provide new utilities in some manner. So people were very upset when Ben said the opposite. But for Vivi to come out and put this out, they're obviously working on something. Very curious to know what that is. I think we should give some input on what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, just sitting there thinking, and I mean, from the good old days, I want to remind everybody here, okay? This channel has been built on constructive feedback, constructive criticisms, and in hopes to make the platform the best platform it can be. There was a time when there was off-app gems on Veve. A lot of people like to screen cap my voice talking about it. But if you watch those videos where we say Veve collectibles are going to zero, we are bringing up a problem with the gem ecosystem. We identified before they shut off-app gems that they were causing problems for the future prices of these collectibles. We were using Pudding Cheeks' gem sheet. If you guys are that OG, you will remember. And we were identifying trends that were showing bad things. And we said, Veve, this is happening because you have an off-app gem market. Shut it down. We made those videos. Nobody else made them. None of your other favorite content creators made them. We made them on this channel. And you guys will remember, if you go back, they're still there. Look up Veve collectibles are going to zero. There's those ones. There's other ones about all the other issues that were causing deflation in the collectible prices. That's why we made those videos. We want to identify problems. Not only that, in those videos, we talked about how to remedy and how to stop the slowdown of collectible growth and all this stuff. And maybe they did some things too late. Maybe they did them on time, but they always did them after we talked about them. If you guys go back, look at the track record, that's what happens. Not to pat our own back, but pat our own back on these ones, because I want you guys to remember that is the purpose of those videos. Don't take it at face value of straight MCP or whatever these guys are talking about on Discord, on YouTube, on Twitter, whatever. Go back, watch the videos, watch them in full, watch for context. Those are great videos, and they talk about what is supposed to happen or what will happen as a cause of some of these bad practices that were in place.
And let's not forget, it was completely permitted by David Yu. David Yu was asked the question. He said, yep, go ahead, sell off app gems. You're permitted to do so because we don't have cash out. And then when he said that that was no longer the case, then that changed. But what can they do going forward now? So here's the thing. So obviously we think utility is a problem. Speaking of issues, we think utility is a big problem in the NFT space in general. Now, to be fair, you're seeing a lot of businesses go out of business, a lot of NFT, if you want to call them that, digital collectible companies that are going out of business, but not Veve. Veve is not going out of business. But does that mean that Veve should do nothing, that they should stay stagnant and do nothing? I don't think it means that. I think that Veve should still try to do something to bring more utility. Ultimately, the average Joe wants to know what they can do with these collectibles. So as of now, they have AR. That's good that they're capable of having AR. Can they do something now with some of the ones in the past? Let's say that you can do AR with them, but maybe they don't move. Maybe they're not animated. So we asked the question, can you build more utility for previous collectibles? So we're going to do a little brainstorming session here. I think there's one idea that we want to talk about, and that is rigging old collectibles. Why don't you start us off, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that a lot of people have asked for, first of all, an enhanced AR experience. Okay, so I mean, we are the belief that AR is a good utility, maybe not the only utility that you need to have with collectibles. That is an ongoing utility that they have and that they're great at. Also, I want to remind everybody, Veve sells the most digitally licensed IP, NFTs, collectibles of any platform right now. Right now, that's what they're doing, and they should stay ahead and they should continue to adapt. And like Rob said, and I think one great way to do that, like Rob said, is to rig some collectibles. We know it's a big task. We've rigged a Starboy. We know how hard it is to do that just for one collectible. But I think it would be worth it for Veve to at least try this out on a previous collectible. We saw that they're willing to try things out for previous collectibles. Maybe it won't be a Marvel collectible. Maybe it will be a James Bond collectible. Maybe it will be something else. But I'm going to give an example here because I think this is the perfect example. Maybe you try it out on this, see how it goes, see what people think of it. I want to hear what you guys think about this in the comments because this is a creative thought process. All right. We had Deadpool. Deadpool FA came to the Veve app. This is a couple years ago, December of 2021, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Oh my gosh. 4 years ago. Or no, 3 years ago, I guess. But anyway.
Well, I mean, we're right at the beginning here. So
he came in a variety of colors. He came in this one here that was, I think, the uncommon that had no sweatshirt, has the hat on. Then you had the common, or no, that's the common. You had the uncommon with the sweatshirt. Then you had the rare with the candy cane knife, and you had two animated ones. This one he's doing one dance, and this one he's doing another dance. Now, think about this, all right? Think about this. You rig Deadpool. Everybody already has a Deadpool. You rig Deadpool. everybody's Deadpool changes to Deadpool like in the package, like where his arms are just straight beside him. All right, so everybody gets that. But if you landed the common Deadpool, you now can put him into this pose. You click a button, he goes into this pose. You can turn on and off that he has a Santa Claus hat because he's the common. That's what it came. You go to the uncommon, similar type deal, rare. He gets the knife as an extra accessory. You can turn all these things on, turn them all off. He goes into this pose. Now, instead of buying a collectible in a pose, you're buying one collectible that is rigged, and then your blind box is for one of the poses. Now you place that collectible. There's a button maybe in Cavernous or whatever in the VVverse. You click the button. Now you can change between poses. You can change between outfits. Not only that, in the future, you can now sell new outfits. You can sell new hats. You can sell new weapons or whatever you want to sell. Maybe there's a dance that goes viral on TikTok and you want to give Deadpool that dance. Now you can have a drop where you're just selling that dance, and anybody who owns the Deadpool, be it any variety, you can now buy that extra accessory, which is the dance now, and add it onto the collectible. Maybe those are limited as well. You have a limited dance. Maybe they're not. Maybe those are some things that you don't want to have limited and just want to let people have fun in the VVverse with them. I think that is something that could be a lot of fun moving forward. I think that's another way to make having these drops fun. Another example I was giving Rob before we got on the air here was, what if you have the Maserati drop that just happened? And instead of selling different color Maseratis, you sell one Maserati, which it comes in the common, and then you're selling paint buckets, or maybe you sell the Maserati, and as a part of that blind box experience, you get a Maserati and a paint bucket, and then you can swap between the paint colors. You place your Maserati, you don't have to place the next one. You place the one, so you have a scene already done up, and you're like, you know what, I want to make it purple today, I want to make it green today, I want to drive it in the VVverse, and then you can change the color as you're driving, like different things like that. But having them rigged is important, because then it allows you to do future drops at future proofing, basically. And that's what we're talking about at the beginning. We want these collectibles to continue to be some of the greatest digital collectibles in existence, and ways to do that is to adapt and come up with ways to make the future fun.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the accessory stuff has always been something they wanted to do. We have Dan in old interviews talking about Spider-Man, or sorry, Superman potentially making him green, right? So there were some old interviews that talked about potentially accessories. Can you maybe buy a green cape instead of a red cape and swap it out? Now, we're not Blender experts, but from my time of working with the Star Boys and trying to get the Star Boys animated, and right now, as of right now, Star Boys are in Flick Play. If you own a Star Boy, you can go to Flick Play and you can use it, and it'll run and it'll breathe, kind of have a breathing motion and animation. But I really like the idea of creating just one collectible that you'll have built in the functionality of 3 different animations. So that way they don't necessarily, and they did that with this, by the way. They must have. This thing, like when I see this, because they, in an old interview, they said that they're not rigged, right? But when I see stuff like this, I wonder if they made this animated and gave it a skeleton so they can do these different poses, right? So maybe some of these are already rigged, and what they can do is just sell a new animation. But I see it more of clicking a button rather than buying the pose. I think they really got to move away from just buying the collectible. It has to be a collectible with some kind of ability to move. Maybe by default, they have the breathing. So a loop of it just kind of like this, right? So that when they're standing in the showroom, they're moving almost like they're breathing. And then you can click a button to activate multiple different poses. So this could be a future approach. It could also be approach in the past for like this Deadpool, for example. If it's already rigged, maybe what they do a little test and say, okay, going forward, Deadpool going forward, it's going to be, it's going to be standing and breathing. And depending on which version you own, you're going to have this animation. And then the extension of that, to make it worth your time and the money that you may spend to go back and do this, potentially is you just sell new animations on the already rigged collectible. I don't know how people are going to take to that, but maybe it's a way to get continuous revenue from an old collectible, because once it's sold, it's kind of done with. There's only secondary market transactions. Veve really needs more primary sales so that they can fund the business. And they're doing that right now through many, many drops. But maybe one thing they can do is go back to kind of the old collectibles from older seasons that people really like and maybe highly sought after. They might be FAs. Maybe you target FAs and you start adding more animations to these and you start selling animations on that. Now, I don't know from a tech perspective if the app is able to do that. But it's just an idea of maybe finding ways to bring some new utility that's already in line with the utilities they're currently offering to those old collectibles. And I think that's why it works. It's not a new utility. It's one that they already offer, but then applying that to some old ones that didn't have that animation and didn't have that ability to have different options. So that when you go in the VVverse and you have this thing projected, you know, maybe you can use those unique poses for that in that VVverse environment. I'm sure the VVverse, I haven't seen it in action, but I'm sure people would love animated characters in the VVverse rather than the stationary statues.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think it's the best way to take advantage of digital collecting. Like, digital collecting should be separated from physical collecting. It should have its unique selling points. And I think being able to manipulate via different poses, different dances, different outfits, different weapons, different whatever that you're able to add and take away, different paint colors for cars, different things. If you're able to have these available, like, what happens when you run out of Marvel characters? What happens when you run out of Disney characters? You know what I'm saying? Like, having these previously dropped collectibles be rigged, even if it takes a little bit of a lift to get to that point, you're future proofing, because now you can start selling whatever you want for these things. And people are going to be like, people love designing their avatar, for example. They're going to do the Ready Player Me in the VVverse. What makes you think they wouldn't want to do that with their characters that they have poses and collectibles that they're trying to be unique and decorate their space? I think this will also do a lot for memification, because people will be able to make scenes and have maybe different animations come out, like that you can then record a video and maybe be very creative and maybe become viral. And maybe that's another way that VV does some marketing indirectly, thinking of ways to make it a lot more fun. And I think this is one of them. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you think it's a good idea? I know people are hesitant when it comes to changing previously dropped collectibles, but this, I think, is something a little bit different. You still maintain the pose that you landed. You still maintain whatever outfits that they're in. And not only that, now people are going to start looking at those previously sold collectibles, maybe giving them a little bit more not value, but more appeal. People might want to have them in their collection more often, just because now they have these things that they can do with them. It makes it a lot more fun. And who's going to complain that their stuff got upgraded? I don't know.
And maybe it's a functionality thing where you have the statue view and then you have the animated view for when you do this to an old collectible. So that way you still have that old statue view, but if you want to animate it, you can switch that. From a technical perspective within the app, I don't know how difficult that would be for VV to do in terms of that switch. But I do know, at least with my time in Blender, let's say they did target a Deadpool, okay? And they did exactly what we said we asked them to do. And I'm assuming these are already rigged because that's how they move them to the different positions. That means it has a skeleton. It just maybe not be rigged for animations. I'm pretty sure a professional can rig that in like 2 days. And like not even, like that's not even 2 days, 16 hours. From like what we've seen, it could be done very quickly. And very cheap, actually. So if they target that one collectible and they say, okay, you already have your 3 poses, make it work so it's animated, give it a breathing position, and give it these 3 options, and we'll gate it. So you may have to make 3 separate files with 3 different animations so that the guy who has the secret rare, for example, doesn't have the one of the common. Or maybe the one that's the secret rare has all of the poses, and the common just has the one. But ultimately, it wouldn't be that hard for them to test it on one. And the way they can still get revenue is by selling animations. So that's that evolvables they were talking about, right? Mm-hmm. It's another way of doing these evolvables is by buying. You're paying to add more animations to that character so that in the future, if we do really become this AR playground in your house where you can put on the goggles and you can see my collectibles in the background, if you build in all these different options, people can activate that 3D sort of animated move and they can kind of stay and take a video with it or do whatever.
A place
maybe they'll pay for it.
Reminds me of is the vials. If you remember, Artifact had vials and you had an NFT of the shoe, and then if you put the vial on it, it like customized the shoe, and then you take the vial off and went back to the original. So like different ways to make digital be something special. I think this is worth looking into. Maybe they already are. We don't know.
And I will say, Joe, I think that doing this with animations is easier than the accessories. Because when you do an accessory, I'm pretty sure, and again, I'm not an expert at this. All I know is what we did on Starboys. Okay, so I've been in Blender for a total of like 3 hours in my life. So that's all I know about Blender. But I think when you do an accessory, it's not that easy to just take that item and just integrate it and so it attaches properly. Like you want to do a sweater and add it to a Deadpool, I think you almost have to build it in. Like I don't know if there's a quick way just to drape it. And maybe somebody who knows Blender really well can let me know in the comments below if you could just drape it. But I think the animation, rigging it, and that would actually be a lot easier, and looping it would be a lot easier. So guys, let us know in the comments below, what do you guys think about upgrading old collectibles with the utility that's already here? Go back to the old ones that aren't animated, give them animation, sell the animation to those old FAs, gives them revenue. At the same time, it makes the collector happy because they got the ability to upgrade their collectibles. And then when you go into that secondary market, maybe you can then sell. It matters more what rarity is because that's how you know the functionality. So let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash subscribe, and join the super fan, hit the bell button so you get all our videos a couple times, 3 times a week. Also, thank you to our superstar VIPs for all your support. We're behind on the giveaways. We got giveaways. Don't worry, we're going to do the giveaways. Appreciate everybody. Take care. See you next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.